I had a story in my heart, but I didn't know where to start. Every sentence felt wrong, every draft fell apart. Sat staring at the page like it owed me something, but the words...
So, hello everyone and welcome to Quick Start Sudowrite in Non-English Languages. My name is Dalia and I've been using Sudowrite since March 2023 to plan, write and revise novels, primarily in German. And my main genres are fantasy and queer romance. I'm excited to be hosting this session along Manon Doucette, a passionate writer and teacher from Canada. Before we dive in, Manon, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hello everyone, my name is Manon Doucette, like Dalia said. I've been using Sudowrite for over 3 years, AI for over 5, and at some point we've kind of lose the years, how long we've been with, because it's flying so fast. I have multiple books published in multiple genre and multiple pen name. So, and I do write in French and in English, and I use program to translate in Spanish and German.
Awesome.
And we have a nice co-host, which is also
exactly, we have our nice co-host.
Want to introduce yourself, Jeff?
Hi, my name is Jeff. I write under the pen name JS Malvado, and I have been using AI for about 6 years. Been writing before joining Sudowrite. I've written for about 20 years, but only just recently published thanks to what I've learned using Sudowrite. And I am very excited to make use of a program that helps me craft my stories well.
Great. All right.
Awesome. Awesome. So these quick start sessions that we hosting today are designed for those who are relatively new to Sudowrite. And here you will learn step by step the essential basics, how to use Sudowrite in your language. While we have some topics prepared, this class is focused on your questions, so we can tailor it to your current needs. So don't be shy and drop anything in the chat. So, I'll be the one to give you a basic tour about Sudowrite, while Manon, who is one of our mad scientists, will provide with a deeper dive into all the things you can do with Sudowrite in your languages. And with that being said, we'll be heading over to our lovely little tool. One thing about Sudowrite to keep in mind when you want to write in a language that's not English is we use our little magical prompt. That is, write our content, in my case in German, in your case it could be French or Spanish or any other language. You can use this phrase in various places and set Sudowrite to nudge the AI to respond in your language instead of defaulting to English. A lot of the newer AI models are already pretty good at picking up which language you want based on the input you give them. But sometimes it still happens that you will get English output instead of output in Spanish or French, German, or Japanese, or whatever language you want. And if that happens, this prompt here can help you to get the output you want. Today, we'll be starting with brainstorming a concept with the help of the Brainstorm button, and later on with chat. And then we'll move to writing and editing. The Brainstorm button is here in the top, and it can be used for brainstorming virtually anything. And since it's not connected to your story Bible, it's a good tool to play with in the beginning. As an example, I'll be asking it to give me a list of premises for historical romance novels, but I'll be asking it directly in German. And I'll give it a bit of a context that the setting is supposed to be in Berlin in the 1920s, and I'll add our little magic prompt in here. In the recent testings, it usually actually worked without the prompt, but just to be sure, I tend to just leave it in there. And when you click on this little start button, it will come up with, after some thinking, it will come up with ideas, and you can upvote them or downvote them. And if you upvote them, they'll end up in your keepers list. And if you downvote, they'll just vanish. And the AI knows that you want less suggestions similar to this. Now we have the daughter of an industrial guy who falls in love with a Russian migrant and who's a taxi driver. I don't know, that's not really, but an American jazz musiker and a German actress. That sounds nice. Oh my goodness, we have the daughter of a diplomat and an androgynous photographer. That sounds interesting. It sounds kind of queer, and I like writing queer stories. So I just said it more than this, and then you can just go and back and forth. And once you've had your selection, you can just go and save and edit. And these keepers will show up in your history column here on the side. And then you can just choose one to work more with. And I just take this one with the daughter of a diplomat and the photographer she falls in love with. And I put all my results from my brainstorming into one document to be easily able to access the information. I would also add that the setting and give it some additional information, since this is the information we'll be working on when we head over to chat. Since this chat function is really the best tool for brainstorming, that lives here in this right column. And if you want to give it a little bit more space, you can make it bigger. And you can go in here and ask it something like, let's see if this works. Like this roughly translates to, I want to expand on the following concept for historical romance. And then you can go and add the document with the concept. And then create an overview of all main characters and important secondary characters, as well as a synopsis. And the great thing about chat is that usually when you write in your language, it easily picks up and will answer in your language without you having to tell it explicitly that you want it to write in German or whatever other language. You just have to start talking and it will answer accordingly. Let's see. And usually I would do this in several steps, but this way asking about main characters and secondary characters and synopsis in one go will save us a little bit of time so that we can explore more features today. But the best way to use chat is to have a lot of back and forth between yourself and the chat while building your story. But this way we got a fast synopsis, like good foundation for the story with our main characters, Elizabeth and Lena, and some important side characters, and our plot. And something nice is that you can just copy it with this button, bring it over to your document, copy it in, and now you have a basic concept. Usually, this is the moment when I would put all this information in my brain dump, here in the story Bible, and start generating content. And build the backbone of my story. Since this story Bible is where we store all your information about your story, from this brain dump to genre, style, characters, world building, and finally outline. But generating everything takes a lot of time. So we will skip this today. And I just want you to be aware that you should have the magical prompt for generation in your brain dump, genre, and style box. And once you have generated a synopsis, you would also put this at the bottom of your generated synopsis. That way you can be sure that when you go to characters, world building, and outline, you will actually get this generated in your language. For writing itself, the style box is the most important box, since this influences how the write button will work and also the draft feature. With this being said, we'll be moving over to our write button to start our story. And something that's really nice is that we can link documents. And that way we can even now give it a little bit of context by linking our brainstorming document as something that we'll look at before it starts writing. To make sure that it understands that this is not prose, I like to add something like context. That means roughly the same, so that it knows that this is background information and not what we're actually writing as prose. So we have this as a context for the project, and then we can start in this document with the writing. The write button offers you several modes: auto, guided, and tone shift. Tone shift isn't something I actually use much, so we will focus on auto and guided. And auto write is essentially how it says here, autocomplete plus magic. It will look at the story that's already there and then write whatever it thinks would work best at a given moment. It just looks at the context that it has to write the story. Or with guided write, you can give it a little bit more of guidance so that it decides based on your actual prompt and not just on what it thinks would be best for the genre. In the write settings, down here, you can also choose how creative write should be. In this context, creativity translates to how much freedom the AI has while it's writing. The lowest creativity, it follows your instructions closely and sticks to genre conventions, while at 100% creativity, it will give you outputs that are more unique and surprising. For beginnings, I usually end up somewhere in the middle, since I want something that's fresh and engaging for the reader. You can also decide how many variations of the output you want to have, and you can set a length for the cards that you want to generate so that you have a little bit more control than with draft button or draft box. So if you just need a sentence or two, you can go with 50 words. Or if you're feeling very adventurous, you can go with 1,500 words or even max words. And I think today we can maybe just look what comes up with max. The next thing here is that you can choose a prose mode. And when you're writing in non-English languages, it's important to look at this information here and to see whether it says that it's multilingual. Since, for example, Muse is in general trained for English language text. So it's really great at giving you text in English, but at least for German, the quality is so-so. It sometimes sounds a little bit stilted. So even though there are not that many A-isms, it just doesn't sound so natural. Therefore, it's better to take a model like Excellent or Basic, which are both multilingual, and also some of the advanced models are multilingual, like the Claudes and the GPTs are also generally multilingual. Basically, most models, aside from a few more experimental ones like Mistral or DeepSeek, like all the big ones are also good for your language. But let's see what new models we have here. I think I haven't played around with Kimi K2 yet. So we could just give this a try. I mean, it's apparently multilingual. So let's see how good it works with German texts. Some other feature here in the right settings are the key details, where you can give the AI some more information about the story you want to write. Or, for example, stuff about style. Or it's also a good place to reinforce the language that you want to use. It's not necessary if you already have the information in the style box, but if you decide not to use the story babble for whatever reason, this is the best place to put in our little magical formula. And for this, I'm curious to see what it would come up if I just hit generate 3 openings. What kind of story it will write for us, since it doesn't have much. But we get something like, let's see what it comes up with. It's writing a lot. I've just realized I told it to write maximum, so this may take a while. So if there are any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But on first glance, it sounds decent, although I already noticed a few weird phrasings and mistakes in it, but overall, doesn't sound too bad. And it's still typing. something that I think is nice that it's using these I don't remember the right word for these, like quotation marks, since these are the ones you usually have in German books, but these are usually not the ones you get from AI. So it's a nice touch that it gets this right. I think that's actually the first time I've seen them. Oh my God, there's Chinese in this. So there are a few issues with this, but yeah, I think it's done. And while it's not there are a few sentences that sound good, but I also would say there are a couple more mistakes than I usually see in a AI generated text, but let's see how expensive or non-expensive this was. Well, that's actually, I think that's okay for the amount of words it produced. But I think it would need a little more inspection for me to say if it's actually a good model or not. But I will just think I would drop the results in the chat so that you can check it out for yourself in case you speak German. And then you can see for yourself if this is a model that would work for you. But in general, my favorite model of all times is excellent for German language stuff.
We have Julian that is wants to learn in German.
Oh, that's good. Very good. So I can give you these versions so that you can take a look and see if this is a model that would work for you. And if you come to the same conclusion that I did, that it's maybe not the best, then I'd advise you to try out excellent, and the basics also quite decent. But in general, I like the Claude models best. The way they write prose, especially. I think I missed one. Oh, I missed the first one, I think. But the order's not really important. I have to remember for the next time that I don't ask you to write such a long text. I post the link in the chat so that you can take a look at the output. And before I let Manon take over, there's just one thing I want to show. Since we have these laser tools here, rewrite, describe, that you can use to edit. And they're very helpful, but often default back to English. And one thing that you can do to help with this is to put, like, write out content in German into the section that you highlight. When you then go and hit describe, you have a higher chance of actually getting output in German. It still sometimes falls back to writing in English. I suspect there's a lot of background prompting for these tools. but you have a higher chance of getting what you want if you add this in the highlighted text. Okay. And that's actually everything I wanted to show today. So I'm now curious to see what Mina has to offer for us.
All right.
Or maybe if there are any questions before we head over. I just forgot to ask if there are questions. Sorry.
Yeah, Julianne, do you have any question? No.
Oh, awesome.
All
And
right.
you can take over.
Share my screen. All right. So I was playing a little bit around with a few how to start a new story. And what I'm doing is basically what we did last month. Last month we did work with character, how to get character in different language and use visualize. So I'm using basically the character we create last month in all the language. So we have our French lady here. We had the English one. We have the Spanish one. And we have our German one. And which one is this one? Italian. Okay, we did quite a bit last month. Portuguese. So I was wondering, so how with the new toys that Sudowrite is giving us, how we can actually take the description that we use on a small idea for story and making the difference between what a French woman, an English woman, a Spanish woman, a German woman, in the same context of story, the change of their facial, clothes, hair, and things like that. So from there, I says, okay, because I like my little image and I like the idea of that woman and the mysterious library and the key, I was wondering, just give me a second here. Okay. I was wondering if we can actually make a concept of a new story and all that by staying right here inside our prose box. So just to give you the context of last month, Daria, you want to mute your microphone, please?
Oh, sorry.
So in our story Bible, we had nothing in a brain dump or in a genre or in a synopsis. This wasn't there. I just create her because I was trying to do a outline, which actually worked. So, and I'm learning because they change so fast that we have to test them and see what's going on. But earlier there was no character box, but we did have the library and the world building done last month. So that was there in a different language, if I can understand here. Which language is that? The library, that's English. So we have a few different language here in our story Bible, in our world building. And there was no outline. I just create the outline with the chat here. And one thing that people always ask, I'm going to put Daria on my other screen, is always how much credit things cost. So far, apparently I don't use too much credit. Funny enough though, chat did cost me credit. So that's something to bring over to figure out something changed in chat recently that we don't know about.
Yeah, we got this new chat beta that only we are in. And when you change to write mode, which is the one that edits your outline and stuff, then you have to pay credits. The rest is for free.
Okay.
So it's this little button down there. If it's right, it will cost you something, and if not. So this is a preview, Juliana.
Are we supposed to
For
be
you.
able to change this?
If you click on there, you should be able to go to a chat mode, and that should be free.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah.
instead of having the free chat and the chat which use credit, which was the higher one, they changed the name to write?
Yeah, because this write thing is able to edit your outline.
Okay.
And that's the reason it's now called Write, and chat is now forever free.
Sounds good. All right. So I learned something too. You know what's happened when you write in nonfiction for so long and you don't use these things, you kind of get on a sideline a little bit. But okay, so what I did, and I was doing the one here in German, and I was actually going to make a little bit of testing here to get it to write in German because Juliana is looking for the German. So here, one thing that I did take the description we had simply, and I put it inside the scene, just the description, or exactly what we had last month of Elena, which, by the way, changed her name with the language. So, and I put that in my first prose, or my first scene, and in my extra instruction, I put that. So we are working with different language. And in real life, when we speak more than one language and we go in a place or something, we tend to switch language depending of how or where we're speaking to. And in this scene here, basically is she's alone in the library, and I want the AI to tell about her inner thought and different way of writing the dialogue or inner dialogue she's having. So I asked to write the dialogue in internal monologue that naturally code switch between French and English. And the character should use German, especially for emotional emphasis, family terms, or untranslatable concept. Ensure the transition fluid and conversational, reflecting a native speaker rhythm. Do not provide English translation in parentheses, because sometimes they will just do that. So I put that down, and then I click excellent. I left everything in third person, past tense. I don't play with that because I was just testing here. And I saw, Jalia, you use a different model earlier. So Kimi, and this one do multi-language? Okay. So something maybe to
Yeah,
test.
but the quality wasn't that good, so I would maybe just stick with excellent.
All right, so I'm going to stick with excellent for now. So basically, this is what we had last week, and then we had a few things. So after this is scene 1, which it writing in English is creating a story based on what we give as a description that she works in a library and all that stuff. So she's create that. So let's see, I'm going to share that so you can read it also. Give me a second here, I'm having difficulties. So the mystery, so I'm going to create, it's already been shared. Okay, hold on. Oh boy. So where's the chat? Chat. My chat is gone. All right, so that's in chat, so you can look at it. So he wrote in English, so I keep going, but here, the language for the dialogue turned into French. And then kind of translate in a very fluid way. So it's not word for word. It kind of go into a different translation of what it is, encore une fois, once more. If we were to translate word by word, it says once more or once again. So here it just is once more into the breach. So we'll have to read the whole story about what he mean by the breach. So she's in a cottage and it's creaking, and the door, she paused. Then again, bon courage, that's in French, so be courageous. Now she's going towards the forest, the fern. Again, she transfer in French. That she says the things to herself in natural solitude. Then we have this in English. Go down a bit lower. Here, Dalia, what she says.
Zeig mir deine Geheimnisse. It translates to show me your secrets.
All right, so we have 3 language right now. So the main text is in English. a thought and dialogue switch between French, English, and German, just for an idea. And even here we have some German. Is it something she's thinking or she's reading something?
I think it's just the location, like the Whispering Isles, essentially, is flüsternde Gänge. So
Cool. So we
it's
have
really cool.
an interesting little story, an idea, just a small spark that you can go from just with a character description. You can get an image and then you can start a story. So that's a different way of brainstorming a new story with a character by itself. So I says, okay, that's great. So I have 2,825 words idea for a story, which is very, very interesting to look. And I like the fact it's fluid between the language. Maybe at some point even change a bit the code that we put in the extra instruction for different language to fluid to go through from one to the next in different things. So she's dialogued with the character in French, she's thinking in Spanish, and when she's mad, she goes in German or something else. You know what I mean? So you can play with this instead of having, so you can give more AI the control on this. So I said, okay, this is fun to do. So I went to the next one, which this one is in Spanish. So in Spanish, again, I took all our information in, I wrote the same thing, but I changed, I put French to Spanish, and the character should do German, the same thing that earlier. So I said, I want to know if it's going to work in Spanish. Now in Spanish, it's writing everything in English, then in French, then in Spanish, in French, in Spanish. That's Spanish too, right? Where's the German? Is that German? No, that's Spanish. That's German, isn't it?
Yeah, Vorsicht.
What
Like,
that mean?
no, I'm blanking out on what Vorsicht means. Like, it's be cautious,
Okay.
essentially. Careful.
Okay, so here we have a change again between languages. Okay, but this is not what I'm looking for. I want to test if we can get the same thing, but write the main text in the language and then switch the dialogue back and forth. Because for some reason, it is all in Spanish. So why does it go and write in English and then the language switch? So for that, I use the German part. So German, I use again the description of Our Lady. And here, and I was doing that during you were talking. So it says, okay, let's see if we can write a new instruction, write the main content in German, and then write the dialogue in a different language. So we're going to test that together because I don't have time to click go. As far as I know, I don't have time. So our German girl is there. So we're going to click on excellent. It's going to do his little thing and it's going to tell us to expand or change or get things smaller. And hopefully it's not going to take too long. In the meantime, I should be able to show you what I did here. Oh, okay. What he says there, Dalia?
The scene is quite descriptive, and there's no actual plot in the scene.
So what were you doing? You would be say add detail? What I'm afraid is going to switch it
Well,
in a different language.
Yeah, if you click add detail, it will probably just switch scenes. I mean, we can have a descriptive scene. I mean,
yeah.
Why not?
So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go and generate prose because what I want to know if it's going to write in the language I'm looking for. So let's go and generate. So even if you have error like this or little thing says you should do something, you can just go in and start writing. Most of the time it's going to go through unless it's a major error. So it's going to be thinking. Let's see if I can get in my history. We have the, oh, it's working. So we have German stories. So that little information worked to write in German. Now let's see if the dialogue is changing. And the dialogue in English. That's in French. Sorry, someone at the door. Okay. Mute my microphone.
Okay. While Manar's checking the door, just for your question, Juliane, yes, if you like to work with detailed German outline, you can create a draft in German with the help of draft. The main thing you would have to make sure is that you've told it in your style box that you want the output to be in German, usually with something like write all content in German or schreib auf Deutsch, something like this. And then it can just write everything in your desired language. The quality of the prose depends a little bit on the model that you're using, but usually with Excellent, I have good results.
All right, I'm going to share this with you guys. This is the German version, so you can read it. Sorry about that. There we go. So now I have the German with the other language mixed in. So you have to tell us if it's a good story. Here we are. So there should be some dialogue which are in German from what I asked, right? No, French, English, and Spanish. Everything else should be yeah, okay, we have the 2 French, Spanish, and English. And the rest should be all in German. Just to show how you can play with the extra instruction as when you can figure out how to tell the AI what you want. And don't be shy to go in chat and tell chat, I want to write in 3 different languages. I want the dialogue to be such and such. The main thing, it's like our little magic prompt all the time. So write all content or main content or the output. I didn't even have to put bracket because in the extra instruction, and it worked beautifully. So what I was going to show you after that is basically you can go in chat, and it doesn't show me all my chat. I have to change something here. So let's work. Create a complete outline. Accept all changes. Something is missing in my chat. Okay, so what I did here, you were supposed to tell me something about, there was something in the bottom here of the chat where it's giving you, let's see if we can do a new chat. How we create a brand new clear chat, create a compelling new chat. Okay, when you have a new chat, and that's in the language you want here, it's telling you that you can update the outline. I don't have an outline, so let's write one. Then it's giving you all these things that you can do. And what I did is basically that. I went and say, let's go with creating a complete outline. So basically, let's work on creating my outline just by clicking on it. Then it's telling me the question here. What is the genre are you writing in? Do you have a main character? Any particular theme you like to do as well? I said the story is right there. So basically this here says you have to understand this is what I'm working with. So thanks to Jeff, I went in and I said, okay, use, and I used the at. And then when I did use the at, this wasn't there. So I just put down, okay, this is where I want you to go. And I just put A, U, and then these, in this box here, my main scenes or my main documents finally showed up. So I says, okay, this is the one I want. So click on it. And I just said, go. And then he says, ah, okay, that's what you want me to write or update an outline on. Let's do it. So he says, perfect, I create a detailed 3-act structure with Aurora Guardiana del Amenace. That built natural from your story foundation. So he's doing the outline. So the outline traces Aurora's journey from the guardian devoted to preservation to embracing her role as a catalyst for transformation. So he's doing all that. And then it's telling me a few things. And here at the bottom, it says, do you accept the change? And you don't see anything. It's, oh, okay. I says, okay, let's do and accept all the change. But I said, at some point, says something is missing because she wasn't inside the character box. So something was missing in the information here. That's where I went and create Aurora. So I basically add her in. And then it says, now I agree with what you wrote. And that's where I said, okay, where's the outline? Instead of creating the outline over here, he created the outline over here. So the whole outline is created inside the outline itself. And it says, once you accept it, I will turn everything out of purple because the outline was in purple. And when it says, yes, I accept the outline, it turned white. So that was an interesting way to go about getting a new outline based on the character and just working with the chat. And that's where figure out here that the right button, it's there. So I probably would have to change it to this. But what it gave me, it's pretty good. Now, again, when we do that here, I would have gone and say, please use it, but write it out in a different language. So we are working with, which language we're working here? Spanish. So, and write all and in Spanish. So let's see what it's going to do with that. I'm going to leave it at right for now. Or let's see, let's turn it to chat. So if there's a problem, it's going to let me know. You might not understand what I'm doing, but maybe. Because we're working about the outline. So it's thinking, outline, character, synopsis, word building. No, it's not trained with the material of the user, Juliana. You're welcome. It's taking a little bit of time. Not sure if it's doing the change in the outline. That would be a surprise. In the meantime, you want to add something, Jeff or Dahlia?
Nothing here.
Me neither. I just wanted to say that, yeah, the chat takes a little bit of time, so
Yeah.
we have to be patient.
We are,
But it should
Sudowrite,
work, I hope.
Sudowrite puts so much more stuff inside the program that perfecto. Create an outline completo in Española. There we go. Am I supposed to answer something here? Anyone Spanish? Is he asking me to say something yes or no? I don't think he does.
I mean, I only understand that it's asking questions about ¿cómo te sientes con este something about structure and emozione particularmente, but that's it. My Spanish very bad. I can order coffee. That's about it. Oh, I think if you want to update the outline, you have to switch back to write from chat.
Mm-hmm.
Perfecto, aquí está. But it will just give you an outline in the chat right now.
Right, for giving me a synopsis.
Synopsis. Yeah, that's not an outline. But yes.
It is giving to me in Spanish and
Oh,
an
there's
outline.
the outline. La biblioteca material. No, I have no idea.
There's an
But
objective.
it looks good what it's giving you,
Yeah, it looks pretty.
even if I don't understand.
We have an objective and a main prose or a main scene. I'm going to have to get this redone, but in French to see. We have Act 2. Wow, we have a pretty good chat. And the old chat would have stopped earlier. I'm not sure if it's going to keep going according to the setting, or if it's just going to finish what it's supposed to write all the way in.
I haven't played around with it a lot, but so far it always finished what it wanted to do.
Right.
Just no matter how long.
It definitely.
Or maybe I didn't find the
My bad.
end of it.
Oh, you keep on going. Oh my gosh, I'm very, very lucky. Normally, if you come out, it just stop and nothing keep going. I came out by mistake. This is a nice change to chat that it doesn't stop after just 150 or 500 words. As I guess he's asking me if I'm happy with the structure, if there's anything I want to change, and if I want to change something, I would say here, please change something, and it will rewrite everything in the way you want, or everything that you want to change. This is pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with the result. So for me, that was my mad science I wanted to show today, a different way to go and create new story just based on character that we worked last month. So if there's any question or anything that you want us to show you, please ask us. We use our credit instead of yours.
And don't be shy. Just
Yeah.
drop in whatever you want to know.
More family. No question. Thank you for the great presentation. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for coming.
Welcome. You're
Learn
welcome.
something new. Jeff, anything you like to add or something you like to see done?
That's right. No, I can't think of anything right off the top. You guys have done a great job covering this.
Perfect. Well, on this, we are at the top of the hour, so I want to say thank you very much for showing up. This recording will go inside the Discord under the international and probably even under all the language that everyone can access the video at their own time. I want to thank Dalia as a fantastic teacher to show at the start of the session, our co-host Jeff, and myself, Manon Doucette, and look forward to see you again next month.
Awesome. And thank you, Manon, for the great information. And see you all next month. Bye-bye.
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 Bye, Jeff.
I had a story in my heart, but I didn't know where to start. Every sentence felt wrong, every draft fell apart. Sat staring at the page like it owed me something, but the words stayed quiet and the fear kept thumping. Then I heard a voice inside me say, "You're overthinking, just put something on the page." Write it messy, write it wild, write it like you were a fearless child. Don't wait for perfect, don't delay. If you got something to say, write it anyway. Oh, 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 let it out, let it out, let it, write it anyway. Oh, 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 let it out, let it out, let it, write it anyway. Some days the magic shows up like lightning. Other days every paragraph feels frightening. Oh, but every page, even the ones that are wrong, are stepping stones to the book where you finally belong. So don't stop now, don't throw it away. You can edit tomorrow, but today, write it messy, write it wild, write it like you were a fearless child. Don't wait for perfect, don't delay. If you got something to say, write it anyway. Oh, 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 write it up, write it up, write it, write it anyway. Oh, 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 write it up, write it up, write it, write it anyway. First draft, chaos. Second draft, clarity. Third draft, confidence. Final dance, magic. Write the story only you can hold. Dream it, draft it, shape the clay. But whatever you do, write it anyway. Oh.